after looking at this and then re-looking at it, all I have to say is that, yeah, I was correct. There is definitely a lot more falling out from peanut butter skin and cans.
And that Joy eventually replaced Marcellus Wiley on Speak for Yourself. He's saying Joy sleeping with Charlie Dixon is the reason Marcellus got replaced on his job. He said, interesting, is what Marcellus said. Let's play side number 7, Marcellus, on how the makeup room is a setup for failure.
All these other witnesses who say and says that they know as well. Reason I can't go there is because, 1, I wasn't in the bedroom with any of them, and 2, listen to me, I never heard that Charlie Dixon and Joy Taylor were sleeping together. But upon hearing that, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, it makes a lot of things make sense. It unlocks a lot for me. Sleeping with Emmanuel Acho, I've heard that before.
That right there, of course, is what we're calling this because Jason Whitlock gave us probably one of the best catchphrases of the year of 2025, and that right there, of course, being the fact that this year has already started off with a bit of a bang, and that there being the Fox Sports SA scandal. Got to say it like that because of the YouTube algorithm. If you use certain little words or say them a certain way, YouTube's algorithm will pick up on it and they'll find a way to keep the video down. But of course, here we are having another conversation about this because if you guys saw the video that I posted on Tuesday evening at 6 o'clock, then you obviously would be notified of the scandal. You probably were already notified of it before I even posted the video because I was obviously a little bit late. But I did say towards the end of that video there was going to be more takes on this topic because more and more and more was going to come out and more was going to fall out from this. And once again, here we are. Now, guys, before we fully dive into this, I want you guys to know this really quick. I'm going to try to get 3 videos out tomorrow, again, like I did on Tuesday. The reason why is because my bit at the VA today just did not go through, so I got to go back there. The good news for me is that there's a local office where I live at, but of course it's across town, and I got to take care of that. So all the takes that you guys are going to see tomorrow were takes that were recorded here on Tuesday night. We just want to go ahead and get that out of the way before we get started. Now, before we fully dive in, make sure you guys please hit the like button. Please click on the notifications. That way if you guys are notified when the videos come out. Also, something else too, the 2 videos that will be coming out tomorrow will be a little bit more pop culture related because I did say I was going to do a lot more of those takes. So be on the lookout for that. Of course, one of them will also be a WWE take because, yes, the people are conflating Hulk Hogan getting booed to his politics, but they then turn right back around and cheer The Undertaker, who has exactly the same politics as Hulk Hogan. There's other reasons why Hulk Hogan was booed there, but we'll talk more about that tomorrow. With that right there out of the way, now let us go ahead and get into this. So, the fallout from the Joy Taylor situation, and don't worry, the lawsuit will be linked in the description box, all 42 pages, the article containing it. I advise you guys read it. It's very, very interesting. A lot of receipts there. Of course, the hairdresser who's asserting all of this and's got all the receipts that Joy Taylor is, well, let's just say that peanut butter skin and cans is obviously a catchphrase for a reason, as I mentioned before, because Jason Whitlock brought that up, and of course that is how he's describing Joy Taylor. The fact of the matter is this here. This little situation with her may have actually costed somebody their job, and that person would be Marcellus Wiley. Now, guys, I talked about the video that Marcellus Wiley did on this matter, his initial reaction, everything. It was roughly 30 minutes. And I think I said that it wasn't that interesting of a video, but I'll link it in the description box anyways. I said that before watching it a second time, and guys, I owe you an absolute 100% full-blown apology. I have no idea where my head was at when I put that out there. So let's go ahead and talk about it because, yeah, there's a lot to talk about with this. And it looks to me like it's quite possibly very, very much a real possibility that, yeah, this affair between Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor and this guy, Chris Dixon, yeah, it may have costed Marcellus Wiley his job. Or there could have been something else that did it, but we'll get to that soon. So, heads up. 2 little bits in this video. Number 1, from Marcellus Wiley, that video itself, which will also be in the description box. He posted on this. And also Jason Whitlock, who was reacting and responding to some of that. And, of course, Jason Whitlock is supposed to have Marcellus Wiley on his show either Tuesday night or Wednesday night to have a much, much further breakdown. There was even like a 3-hour-long live stream that they did, or Marcellus Wiley did, on this matter with other people who've worked with him at Fox Sports. So, yeah, this situation is going to get more and more interesting as we go forward. But with that right there out of the way, let's go ahead and get to it.
So, you can prove this. And unlocking the piece of Charlie, let me just stay on that for a second, if true. Woo-wee! I'm looking at my history and I'm looking at the history of a lot of other talents on that network a lot differently. A lot differently. In a really bad way. Because like we said in that example, imagine if Charlie allegedly is sleeping with Joy Taylor and Emmanuel Acho, and there's somebody who's not sleeping with Joy Taylor. Let's just use me, all right? Because I've known Joy Taylor since she was born, basically, it felt like. I mean, I remember seeing her as an itty bitty around her brother, the homie Jason Taylor. We came out the same year in the same draft class, etc. So, known her since itty bitty status. For this lawsuit, I couldn't make sense of nonsense. But that part right there, the allegation of Joy Taylor versus sleeping with Charlie Dixon and Emmanuel Acho versus an example like mine, unlocks a lot. We'll discuss that later. Let's get to Emmanuel Acho, my dog. Alleges he slept with his co-worker, Joy Taylor, which alludes to the conspiracy of her hosting a show and collateral damage that comes from that. The craziest part about this is, Emmanuel's reputation. I see you guys a lot of times when you saw me leave the network, and I never wanted it to be negative towards Acho. Like, Acho was the reason I was let go. I never wanted that to be a reality or even a narrative or perception, but it went there. And a lot of you guys call him snake in the grass, etc. I see it. We don't lie on this show. There's something to what's done in dark will come to light.
Now, guys, I played the long-form version of that. The full video is in the description box, but the long-form version of it's roughly right around 5 minutes of that clip, but I edited down most of it, and of course there'll be another part to it here in a second. But basically what Marcellus Wiley is kind of insinuating is that it's possible that his job may have been lost at Fox Sports because of this little affair. Now, if you saw the video that I posted earlier today, then you probably saw this little bit from Jason Whitlock, roughly a minute. Let me play it for you guys.
And I didn't think the test went well. And I let everybody know, hey, I don't think this test went well. I don't want, this isn't the direction I wanted to go. I was trying to play nice and trying to meet them halfway in terms of okay, you guys are insisting on a woman being on this show because that's what everybody wants. And I was like, well, you need to bring a grown-ass woman on the show if it's going to be with me. It can't be at this time. This is 10 years ago. Joy Taylor's probably 25, 26 years old. You talking about, I got a lot of discipline, but 25-year-old with them big cans and that peanut butter skin who has nothing to say, at some point I'm going to lose respect.
And that there, of course, was in response where Jason Whitlock was talking about how it was that he did not think that Joy Taylor was qualified for the position that she was going to have because they originally wanted her on Speak for Yourself when Jason Whitlock was there. Now, Jason Whitlock brought this up in his first episode that he did about this situation, and he talked about his contract situation, and he talked about the fact that he was about to enter into a brand new contract negotiation, and Fox Sports wasn't willing to pay him more money, and he was willing to just kind of sort of leave things on the table. Now, as many of you guys would know, back in 2020, we had the SJW thing. We had the BLM movement. We had all that stuff there, which, of course, will come back up over the course of this video. Trust me, it will, because I'm reminded of Marcellus Wiley responding to the BLM nonsense in 2020 and their website back in that year during the whole COVID thing. Now, the thing is this right here. A lot of black men got a little bit panicked by the whole BLM thing, especially when they got to see exactly what these people were really and truly about, because let's be honest, black men are nowhere near as emotional as black women. That right there is not a knock on black women or black men. I'm just simply saying that the media caters Democratic Party messaging more towards people of color because people of color tend to be a little bit more emotional about certain said issues, especially the race issue. There's a reason why it is that we talk about race scriptures all the time. They exist for one reason and one reason only. They exist to get your emotions up through the roof and make you do stupid stuff. That right there is the real truth of it. The media is, in fact, the devil. You could argue that's the Democratic Party, but I think the Democratic Party is a wing of the media, not the media being a wing of the Democratic Party. I'll probably do a video in the future explaining that. But the thing is this right here. This situation with Emmanuel Acho, and of course the situation with Joy Taylor primarily, has got a lot of people screaming, this right here is what feminism has kind of resorted to. Use what's in between your legs to get by on. But then again, though, Marcellus Wiley brought up another point that not that many people have talked about when it comes to Joy Taylor. It's the fact that she's also the sister of a former NFL player. Okay, now you guys obviously heard all of that. And you might be thinking to yourself that maybe it is possible that what happened in this situation is that Joy Taylor, the sister of Jason Taylor, who, by the way, Joy Taylor was working for Dan Le Batard at one point in time in Miami, and she was also a bartender, never should have gotten the job to begin with. She got the job maybe because of her name, or maybe she got the job because of her ability or her willingness to do certain things that some people just won't do. I'm pretty sure you guys can kind of sort of see where I'm going with this. Now, Marcellus Wiley also talked a little bit about Emmanuel Acho and how it is that a lot of people believe that Emmanuel Acho may have been a bit of a snake in the grass, and I kind of alluded to this in the previous video, and why it is Emmanuel Acho is not exactly one of my favorite people out there, and of course the fact that he's messing around with Joy Taylor, and of course that video that he decided to delete, which of course he basically was simping for her in. And of course, all the other videos that he has posted of Joy Taylor on his Twitter account, it makes you think to yourself that this guy is just one great big giant simp. However, the thing is this right here. It may not be that he's a simp. It may be that he's a plant. Now, in this video, I've told you guys that the BLM thing would come up, and I also told you that the simp thing would come up. So I had to think to myself, how do I actually do this? Which one do I lead with first? And of course, it's the plant thing that I think we should lead with. Now, you guys obviously heard some of which I just gave you guys earlier. You guys obviously heard some of that. You heard that they're from Marcellus Wiley's channel. But of course, there's also the bit from Jason Whitlock where he's responding. And he basically says it out loud right there towards the end. But of course, there's some lead up to this right here. And of course, that lead up is the fact that Emmanuel Acho may have actually been installed, meaning that he may very, very well be a plant. Let's watch some of this.
When Joy Taylor connected with Emmanuel Acho, the hairstylist says this is around February or March of 2020, right at the beginning of COVID. And that's right at the time when there was a pivot of the negotiations with me and Fox. It went from, yeah, we're going to do X, Y, and Z, and yeah, we're going to build this thing in a way that makes more sense for you, to come back on the other side of COVID right after to, hey, we're going to offer you the exact same money. Despite all this growth, despite all this success, we're going to offer you the exact same money, and it's a take it or leave it. It's just me and the person I'm negotiating with had a very close relationship, Eric Shanks. And he went straight cold as ice. This is it, nothing to debate, nothing to talk about. It was interesting. And I remember thinking through it and get here and what happened. And I'm going to save it for tomorrow when Marcellus is here before I unpack the full thing. But anybody that knows me knows, like, hey, man, if Whitlock says X, Y, and Z, he's crazy enough to live up to X, Y, and Z. Now, I do think they were surprised that I stood my ground. Larry Jones, who was part of those negotiations, seemed very shocked and just couldn't believe, like, this.
Okay, now real quick, I want to go ahead and say this. There's a little bit more here that talks about patriarchy that Jason Whitlock was going on about, which we'll get to more towards the end, because like I said, there is one more thing that may explain why it is that Marcellus Wiley may not be at Fox Sports anymore, outside of what you guys heard right there and about to hear right in a second. But of course, let's get back to it, because trust me, it will all make sense in the end.
Who comes from a 3-4 year playing career that he even says was a little below standard, a little subpar, but he becomes uncomfortable conversation guy, Oprah Winfrey guy, plugged media star. This is co-host a show with me, co-host a show with Joy, co-host a show now with another ensemble, does a Saturday show, does other shows, HBO Max, I've seen, etc. Interesting. I hear you, Cat Williams. Stop it. Stop. Not right now. I don't need another cat. Don't be calling me.
He's calling him installed, and he is. And he went through the Oprah Winfrey feminist brainwashing camp, and that's what he does. And that's why he was banging Joy Taylor and pumping out videos about Joy Taylor.
And so far, given the fact that we're over here talking about contracts, contract negotiations, talking about the fact that this right here was the time that they were coming to me with this, yeah, it seems to me like you would not be fully out of bounds to think that there wasn't some shady stuff going on. And of course, there is some more to come. So let's go ahead and watch the rest of this.
And Black Girl Magic and how awesome she is. And, you know, it's a bat signal to all of these men, particularly black men. You want these positions, hop on board with this matriarchal baby.
Yep, 100%. Guys, I remember when Emmanuel Acho first came on the scenes, and of course I'm showing you guys a clip that I'm about to show you guys here in a second that's roughly 2 minutes long, but you can kind of see it with Emmanuel Acho's face. It's just a certain way that he's always struck me. I don't know if he strikes you a certain way, but there's a certain way, it's just a certain thing about him that's always read to me somebody who's not exactly being honest. Seems to me like somebody who may have intentionally stayed above the fray. Took the safe route all the time, but he's put them on display for people to see. Maybe it's designed for people to get used to that same said individual, get used to their face, etc., etc., etc. But it wasn't long after this that I want to say it was the guy, I think it was, what's his name? The guy who used to do The Bachelor, the actual, I think Chris Harrison. Let me double check. Yeah, Chris Harrison, the guy who used to do the whole Bachelorette TV show. They had Acho doing it at one point in time, which I found kind of odd too because that's ABC. It's ABC Disney. Fox Sports, of course. I know that Fox is owned by Disney, but not the news division. I mean, I'm just saying that I find it kind of odd that this guy who really just came out of the middle of nowhere and doesn't really do any talking or anything is suddenly out there hosting The Bachelor, filling in for Chris Harrison, somebody who's been on network television for, I want to say, over 20 years. And we all know he got fired due to cancel culture too. I'm just saying kind of odd. It feels to me like this guy may have, in fact, been installed. It looks like Acho, it looks like Joy Taylor, it looks like the affair that was going on there may have costed Marcellus Wiley his job or an opportunity at making more money. So obviously Marcellus Wiley, I think, is correct to have his blinders up or the spidey senses going off. And I think Jason Whitlock is also correct to think to himself that maybe this very might be the case. Of course, you'll get more information on that either tonight or tomorrow night when Wiley is on his show. But I did say that there was one more thing that could have maybe costed Marcellus Wiley his job or an opportunity of working at Fox Sports for more years. Do you guys remember earlier I brought the whole BLM thing? Marcellus Wiley wasn't a fan.
Being a father and a husband, that's my mission in life right now. How do I reconcile that, what I just told you, with this mission statement that says, quote, we dismantle the patriarchal practice. We disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure requirement. When I know statistics, when I know my reality, forget statistics. I knew this before I even went to Columbia and saw these same statistics that I'm going to read to you right now. That children from single-parent homes versus two-parent homes. The children from the single-parent homes, this is in 1995 I was reading this. 5 times more likely to commit suicide. 6 times more likely to be in poverty. 9 times more likely to drop out of high school. 10 times more likely to abuse chemical substances. 14 times more likely to commit rape. 20 times more likely to end up in prison. And 32 times more likely to run away from home. I knew that. You know why I knew it? Because a lot of my friends didn't have family structures that were nuclear like mine, and they found themselves outside of their dreams and goals and aspirations. So when I see that, or as a mission statement for Black Lives Matter, it makes me scratch my head. When I also see their mission is to eradicate white supremacy. In 2020, white supremacy is the mission. Woo, that's a lot of digging through minutia right there. I am on a show that I'm hosting along with another black guy who is hosting with me, who replaced another black guy. And that's just one example.
Now, I'm not saying that got Marcellus Wiley fired from FS1. FS1, Fox Sports, they went down the social justice warrior rabbit hole too. And they do have some personalities there that are a little bit more on the Democratic Party side. However, the thing is this right here. They are nowhere near as bad when it comes to the race scripting and the left-wing crap than what ESPN is. The fact of the matter is that his stance probably did not help him out going forward. He probably didn't really and truly care. Marcellus Wiley cared more about his family. Wiley is 50 years old. I think he's got a couple of kids. The kids have shown up on stream with him from time to time. He cares more about his family than anything else. And I think that Marcellus Wiley, knowing that he's a former NFL football player, he knows he's got money. I don't think he's really and truly worried about what FS1 or Fox has got to say. I think that what's happening right now is he's just simply looking at the situation. He's saying, yeah, this right here is the reason why it is that I got fired. This right here is pretty daggone screwed up. And yeah, Emmanuel Acho is a plant. And they used me to get that plan out there. I think that right there is what the hell's really going on here. So while not directly saying that Emmanuel Acho and Joy Taylor, they costed this man his job, they definitely did not help Mr. Wiley's prospects in the future. Meaning that for the most part, yeah, you could probably kick some dirt on this and say, yeah, you guys costed this man this job. This right here is what affairs can do. You got the position because you, quite frankly, did not earn the position, and Joy Taylor would love to have us believe that she earned the position when in reality, she earned it all right. She just didn't earn it with hard work. She earned it with hard play, or whatever hell you might want to insert. But you guys, please tell me what you think in the comment section. I would love to hear what you guys have got to say. Trust me, guys, there's going to be more fallout as a result of this. It's going to continue to get steamier and steamier and steamier. And I do plan on having a video out on the Shannon Sharpe side of the situation because I would love to go through that. And also all the other very, very ridiculous takes that have happened as a result of all of this. Now, guys, like I said before at the beginning of the video, I'm not going to be here most of the day, so I'm going to go ahead and record all the videos for tomorrow, and I'm going to go ahead and get them all out for tomorrow. They're going to be more like this right here. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the Club Random podcast, Bill Maher. I'm not going to give up those takes. And also the situation involving the social media crowd getting something wrong once again. Still, though, make sure you guys stick around for all the videos. Please hit the like button, subscribe, share the video, sign off in the comments, and I'll see you guys later.